Alrighty, so I said I was gonna tell you about the whole Costa Rica thing after talking to somebody actually from the activist post that been there, done that, what their thoughts were, why did they come back, why aren't you still there, two of his partners for the business they run are still there, in fact. And so, like I said, I was gonna record the conversation and ask, hey, can I upload this? Might be an interesting thing for people. But I'm just gonna tell you now. We talked, and this wasn't just about Costa Rica. You got someone from Activist Post and Jason at 4 having a Skype conversation together. You know we ain't just gonna talk about Costa Rica. We talked for 2 hours and 20 minutes straight. We covered everything you can imagine, just chatting back and forth about stuff. We started off with the whole Costa Rica thing, but the reason you're not getting a video of that conversation is we went all over the map. Personal stuff, stories, him, me, just not gonna upload it. I already deleted it, it's gone anyways. I deleted it early on after realizing this isn't strictly about Costa Rica. I need, this is like 50 videos in one. Like, who wants to sit here and listen to us chat for 2 hours and 20 minutes? Maybe some of you might, hey, that'd been cool, I'd have listened, Long story short, not happening. So that's why I'm doing this video. So on the Costa Rica part, he had lived there several years back. I think it was around the George Bush Jr. Time frame. Patriot Act is passed, all this stuff. He can see this kind of rapidly unfolding. He doesn't like what he's seeing. I got to get out of the country. I don't like this at all. So he and his wife left. They have a total of 3 kids, I believe, just like me. They left, went to Costa Rica, sold everything that they owned in America, house, belongings, everything. Just sell. Faster than a stock market crash in 2008. Sell. Went down there with their nest egg and said, we're going to start our little, lives over here. And he actually did it for about 5 years. And he went to another country. I think he'd been to Australia for a short period, Southeast Asia and I say short period as in maybe a year to 2 years. Went back to Hawaii after all that, and then fairly recently settled somewhere else within the lower 48 states. But he said, I'm not going to say that I don't recommend doing it. He says, my 2 partners are still there. They're still in Costa Rica. They both actually have kids. He said, but for us, it was kind of one of those things like, okay, all been told it's been more than 5 years. Of him bouncing around to a couple other places and finally coming back and all that. And he said, you're living out there, you're doing the whole live cheap thing. You don't have this big old house and all these electronics and all this other, just the stuff you have in America. And we're living simply. It's inexpensive. We're actually able to travel the world a little bit because it's so cheap to live in Costa Rica. And we're seeing places. They also homeschool. We homeschool. So that's where one of the conversations went into. My wife had asked him some questions about things. How do you deal with this? And here's how we deal with that with our kids when they, it was cool. But he said, after so many years and stuff, you kind of miss the loved ones, the people, that you left. You also, which I don't know if you can hear that, it's a school bus next to me rattling to hell and back. you know, you miss the people. He's like, you know, and honestly too, like the stuff. He's like, you know, I'm a tech guy. I like electronics and technology and things, and you know, when you're in one of these third world countries, man, that there's not a whole lot of that kind of stuff. And you know, it's like there's a lot more opportunity still in America. He said, you know, even after the collapse and everything, you know, I don't know about you, but it didn't really affect me that much. You know, he was actually in real estate, and then when we went to Costa Rica, he was kind of into real estate and some other similar things. And then 2008 happened while he was there, and I asked him, like, well, how did that affect Costa Ricans? You know, what did 2008, 2009 have to, you know, do over there? How did those people feel that? He said, no, honestly, you know, again, there's a lot of poor people. They're already living poor. They're already at the bottom, so to speak. It is what it is. That's it. It almost didn't really affect anybody there. He said, but it did affect him because he was still in the real estate industry to some extent. So he was affected. But he made do, and then him and, you know, at some point him and his partners did the Activist Point, you know, website, and or excuse me, Activist Post website, and they've been doing that ever since. But he said, you know, it's been about 10 years in total now that I did that whole experience, went to a couple other places, came back, and he's like, you know, at first you see it coming, it's like, hey man, gotta get ready for this thing. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be, you know, this collapse. He said, you know, but after all these years, I just don't know if it's gonna be as bad as we think. He's like, you know, there's so many people on this planet, and there's so many Americans, and you know, the elite, they don't want to give up their power. So are they really gonna make you as an American feel a lot of pain for too long of a time? It might, you know, they might make us feel it short and sweet, and then say, oh, here's how we're fixing it, and flat out, well, here's how we're fixing it. You don't have a choice. And then that's the end of it. And we start into this new world order, or whatever the hell they have planned for us. And he's like, you know, other places were affected by 2008, 2009 as well. So it's, you know, it's globally interconnected. Sure, the very poor people of Costa Rica didn't really seem to feel it or notice it, but everybody else did. So if you're absolutely dirt poor, you're probably not going to have any issues. Being dirt poor, do you have a pension? No. Being dirt poor, do you have a 401k? No. Do you have any retirement? No. Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Absolutely yes. Well, chances are you may not hurt you too bad, if any. You know, but again, a middle class person even, yeah, they have retirement, they have, whether it's 401k, pension, whatever it is, you know, sure, they're going to be affected. And even in some of those other countries he visited, same situation, they would be affected. But he said, you know, don't not do it just, you know, because I came back. He's like, you know, I wouldn't give that up for anything. I wouldn't change any of that. We had a good time. We enjoyed it. It was pretty laid back. He said, you know, some of the people there, just so you know, in America, it's like, you know, I need something done, or I got to go here and get that. Let them know I need this done. Okay. When can I expect this? Got it. I'll be back tomorrow, you know, to get this part back or fixed or whatever it is, or I need this done. And it's not just Costa Rica. A lot of those, you know, third world countries, basically, or maybe I should, you know, up and coming, emerging markets, if you will. They're still, you know, essentially poor countries. They're on a whole different level of laid back. So that can be a good thing, but it can be a bad thing sometimes. If you are expecting something to get done, I need this done, hey look, can you do that for me? Get this paperwork finished so I can close on this house, or so I can do whatever it is. I didn't get to it, you know, I'll do it, I'll get to it tomorrow. But you said that, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. You know, nobody is in a hurry for anything. There's no such thing as being in a hurry. Everything is laid back, which also means work ethic could be a little, you know, a bit laid back as well, and pretty much is laid back. So he said, you know, if you have, for example, if you anyone still wants to go there or try it or live there, whatever, Costa Rica, He's like, honestly, right now, for about $3,000 a month, USD, you know, you would be set. You could afford a nice little pad. You'd have some extra money. You know, you could live comfortably on $3,000 US dollars a month. So he said, if you were to move there, anyone moves there, you're going to have income somehow. And there is not a lot of opportunity there. So any expats who want to go there from your home country, whatever, you better hope, not even hope, you better have a job that you're taking with you that you can do remotely. You might say, well, I was making $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month back in America, man. You know, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. If I leave, my job's not going to pay me that much, but they will pay me. You might say, well, I'm able to do it for $3,500 a month. My job will keep me on. I can work remote. $3,500 a month, essentially, it will be my salary. And you will be doing good in Costa Rica. But God forbid if you try to get anything over there, import a car, you know, vehicle. Maybe you need a part for your car or vehicle, something broke down. Or you need some new laptop or computer equipment. Man, are you going to pay out the nose? You are going to pay out the nose. Import tax, this, that, you know. It's a big tax over there. So everything that you think you might need or want, as in, you know, even if it's a comfort item that you don't really need, but man, damn it, I'm living over here, I need something, some semblance of being back at home, United States, it is going to cost you. And supposedly that's kind of how it is for a lot of those, you know, Spanish-speaking countries down there, South American countries. So he's, you know, again, he said, look, I'm not saying don't do it. I have nothing, you know, really bad to say about it. We just, for us, we wanted to come back. There was more opportunity still here in America. Even after the collapse had happened, you know, it's been some years now. There was still opportunity for us. That doesn't mean everybody, but there was opportunity for them. Better paying jobs, that sort of thing. And he said, you know, sometimes, like for our kids, some of them, you know, one of them, their kids was older, but the other two were younger. And he said it just felt like, even for them, because they do homeschool, there's not a lot of homeschool stuff happening in Costa Rica. You're going to some school there. Not that the schools are bad or anything, but it's not their lifestyle. Their lifestyle is we want to homeschool and have some homeschool groups and do some homeschool things and that sort of stuff. And it just, America fit the bill better than Costa Rica or even Australia or Southeast Asia ultimately, or, you know, I know it's part of America, Hawaii. They decide to come back into the lower 48 states, one of the states anyways, and you know, he's working on his vision, just like I am, just like probably a lot of you are, which is, you know, when I finally can make it happen, whether it's sell some silver when the silver prices are high, or just maybe the silver prices don't rise soon enough, but other opportunities arise, like, okay, the housing market still is crashing, yet interest rates are still pretty good, so it's time to go buy a house, get a mortgage, and oh my gosh, there's a great house right over here, 20-minute, 30-minute, whatever it ends up being, drive to work, totally doable. It's got X amount of acres on it, you know, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 10, whatever you got. It's on a lake or a pond or what, you know, whatever your little dream spot is. And while silver hasn't moved yet, that's what I'm working towards anyways. That's kind of where his vision's at. That's where my vision's at. And I know a lot of you have that same vision. And I told him last night, I was like, yeah, you know, my whole thing, if silver does its thing, great. Because we could, you know, sell some of it or all of it or whatever, depending on what the opportunity is, to get a house paid off, you know, be done with it. Or, because he's like, you know, and the other thing, he's like, oh, even though house prices are starting to come down, they're certainly not going up, but interest rates are still really good. So he's like, even though the house is kind of a, you know, is higher than it was, because the interest rates, you know, 3% you can get on these houses right now, it's almost free money. So at that point, you know, even if the house is a little more, your mortgage payment still is pretty good for you getting a whole lot of house for a lot less than you used to. And I said, yeah, you got a good point. I mentioned that in some of my videos, where depending on where we are on this planet, on, you know, what page we're on in the elite's agenda and how things are at the time, you know, because again, some of us may not be affected by anything that happens and say, oh, I skated through that, I was good, you know, my job, whatever industry we're in, never, you know, maybe we felt a tiny little bump, hiccup, but no one lost their salary, no one had to get fired. We went through it. It was okay. And you can say, oh, great, because I didn't have to sell my silver in that case. I still had my day job. Still pays me the same. Still happy with my pay. Still happy with everything else. You know, me in particular, I've got this YouTube channel. People enjoy it. I'll get new subscribers every day. Which, just an FYI, I get around average every month 30, 35 new subscribers every single day. You can go to socialblade.com and look up anybody's channel, and it will tell you like their stats and stuff. So I check my stats sometimes, you know, because I always think to myself, have people had enough of JSNP 4? If the answer was yes, I would be seeing red numbers saying you lost this many. On average, you're actually losing subscribers, and your 30,000 new milestone I hit recently, thank you very much, 30,000 subscribers, love you guys, would be going down. Oh my gosh, I thought I had 30, now I've got 29,500, oh my gosh, it's 28,000, you know. That would tell me, Joe, shut your filthy mouth. People are tired of hearing you speak. And I would say, you know what? Time to go. But since it's not time to go, and people do want to hear what I gotta say, I'm keeping on keeping on, as Joe Dirt might say. You gotta keep on keeping on. But where I was going with that was, not only do I have my day job, and I don't plan on leaving. I like my day job. Good salary, good place to work, it's great, good people. But I do this YouTube stuff, as you know, these little advertisements play and all that good stuff on my channel, amongst other people's channel too. We get a piece of that pie, advertising revenue. So it's turned out to something kind of neat for me and for others that do this, in that we have day jobs just like you and everybody else and their mother, unless your mother's living at home with their daughter. And we have a little bonus check every month. Helps us pay our rent, helps us buy, oh, I need a new camera, I need a laptop got destroyed, let me get a new you know, whatever it is. So that's fantastic that people can do that these days. You can kind of have a side job doing something you would be doing anyways, like these videos. So that's kind of cool. But it takes subscribers. It took me a long time. It took me years. I did this, you know, I know I've said at the very end of 2009, and that is true, but it was really at the end of 2009, so I really should be saying since 2010 I've been doing these videos. All natural. I don't advertise or try to get people, you know, come check out my JSNP 4 channel and pay advertising, which I thought sometimes, I wonder if I should. Some of these other channels out there, I wonder if I should advertise on there to make them aware of old JSNP 4. But I will tell you, as I did the free toy kids channel, my kids opening toys and giving the toys away, you know, through kind of a raffle sort of a thing. Man, advertising's expensive, and I didn't see a whole lot of gain, at least for their channel. So I had to shut that down. And with these tricky like statutes, state of Florida, is it a raffle? Is it a lottery? Is it a game? Is it a contest? You know, I'm like, you know, I don't think I want to. I'm not taking a chance with that channel. But the good news is the political game show channel, as long as I don't charge someone to enter, so there will be no charging of $1 to $2 to join the possibility of being selected. That absolutely becomes a raffle, and that cannot be done because the only people who are allowed to do raffles in the state of Florida, where you're collecting money like that, is a non-profit, and under very strict guidelines. You have to post A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P of all these things you're going to be due, where it's going to be held, how much it is, no purchase necessary, you know. Which, in that case, raffle, the purchase is necessary, you got to pay it to get in, but those are sweepstakes and stuff. So I've decided old JSNP 4 is just going to have to foot the bill to buy a few ounces of silver and make that the prize. I can randomly select people, so that's good. Or I can just pick people who sign up if I want. Either or. It's okay. It's legal. As long as I'm not charging you to join this potential to get on the game show. Having said that, you know, because some people offered, hey, ask, why don't you try to maybe ask a silver company or someone that's like help sponsor you, or at least sponsor some of the prize or something. And I thought about that, so you know, that's a good idea. And believe it or not, a while back I did ask JM Bullion. I think when I first started the channel in 2015, October, November, or maybe it was very early this year, when I actually asked about it. And at the time they were not interested in sponsoring it. So something is telling me contact Silver Doctors to see if they're willing to do some kind of sponsorship. I mean, even if they were to tell me you can buy the silver and we'll ship it for free, that would be great. I'll take it. You know, sign me up, and I can give them a little mention in the beginning of the video. This, you know, the shipping of the silver was purchased at SD Bullion, plus it was paid free shipping thanks to that sponsor. You know, prizes come from them. Blah blah blah. Again, expect a video very soon, like maybe tomorrow, about signing up for the game show, because it's about to go down probably this weekend. Take care.